The Senate Judiciary Committee held a hearing on Tuesday for a bill that would block states from passing laws that chip away at women's access to abortion services. So the bill would, quote, nullify mandatory waiting periods, mandatory ultrasounds and counseling, gestational limits on abortion before viability, requirements that abortion clinics become ambulatory surgical centers, and other state laws that are designed to make it impossible for women to access a safe and legal medical procedure. So, let's be clear about this. What they're doing is trying to restrict some of the TRAP laws. For those of you that don't know, TRAP laws literally stands for Targeted Restriction of Abortion Procedures. That's what they're doing in red states. Overwhelmingly Republican legislatures are saying, yeah, we could have this constitutional right to an abortion thing that was found in Roe v. Wade a long time ago, or not, or we could go ahead and try to outlaw abortion in a roundabout way by not actually writing in our law books, we are henceforth banning abortion, but instead, we regulate them out of existence. Get rid of all the clinics by over-regulating on purpose. So ironic for the party that claims, oh, we are anti-regulation. Big government is always the problem. Unless it has to do with the woman's body. In that case, regulate away. Regulate the clinics out of existence. So oftentimes what they do is there were stories, they would literally go into some abortion clinics, take out a fucking tape measure, measure the length of the hallways and go, oh, that's interesting, 7 feet 3 inches. Well, we just passed a law that your hallways need to be 7 feet 4 inches wide. So either you knock down your whole building to increase your hallways by 1 inch, or we shut you down. And of course, what they'll do is that you have 3 weeks to comply with the new regulations. They're like, even if we wanted to comply, we can't do it in that short amount of time. That's insane. Another thing they do is they'll say, oh, we just passed a law. You need to get hospital admittance in order to have your abortion clinic up and running. Now, at face value, a lot of Republicans will say, who could be against that? What are you? Oh, you're saying you want to have no safety standards for these abortion clinics? What's wrong with you liberals? You guys are crazy. Why would you be against getting hospital admittance? I mean, that's insane. You know what they end up doing? They say you have to go to this Catholic hospital to get it done. And then the Catholic hospital says, we're not going to give you admittance. We're against what you're doing. Or they'll say you need to go get hospital admittance and you have to have it within a month. And then when you go to the hospital, they say, oh, the whole process takes 4 months. So again, they regulate out of existence on purpose. The fucking vaginal ultrasounds, the transvaginal ultrasounds, it's state-sponsored rape. They don't need to put it in your vagina to do an ultrasound, but they do it anyway. Why? To disincentivize you from getting an abortion. The same thing with the waiting periods. What they do is, you have to drive 4 hours in some places to go to a clinic. They go, that's nice. Come back in 3 days. Meanwhile, you already took a few days off work. You're going to have to come back again after they make you wait when you already made your mind up and you already thought about it. I mean, it's unbelievable how over the top they go to try to get rid of even the early abortions. Did you know that some of the TRAP laws literally shut down clinics that only give out the morning after pill, Plan B, right? They only give that out. And they say, oh, we're going to shut it down because this doesn't comply with our rules. But wait, that's not even abortion. If you read about how it works, it prevents a pregnancy. It doesn't terminate one. But even that, they say, that's abortion, we're shutting it down. It's unbelievable. So, how did the right-wing media respond to this insanely moderate proposal? Because it doesn't even get rid of all the TRAP laws. It gets rid of some of the TRAP laws, okay? Look at how much they flipped out.
The critics say this is basically going to open the door on late-term abortions because the bill would allow late-term abortions nationally if necessary, not just to save the mother's life, but to save the mother's health.
Is to stop politicians from playing doctor.
2 U.S. senators demanding fewer abortion restrictions by the states. Are these people executioners?
The controversy there is that some women abused that when it was allowed and would get a doctor to say, yes, her health requires a late-term abortion. And then this happened in the case of Dr. Tiller, who wound up murdered, but that he was providing late-term abortions based on health concerns.
The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, some of the abortion clinics are appalling. They bring these women in and put them on dirty sheets that somebody else has had an abortion ahead of them. There's no antiseptic procedures. No hospital in the country would ever permit some of the things at these abortion clinics. They're factories. It's time somebody starts saying, look, this is nonsense. This has nothing to do with women. We want to give health to women, but these clinics should be licensed. The people performing these procedures should be skilled medical technicians. This is carving up the most intimate part of a woman, and botched abortions lead to death. And this business about safe abortion is just nonsense. They're not talking about safe abortion. They're talking about a full abortion for anybody, anytime, anywhere.
I don't even know what that means. A full abortion anytime, anywhere. What is that? What are you saying? Well, what would you rather have, a partial abortion? What do you mean? What do you mean? And they want it anytime, anywhere, any place, any kind. No, Pat. Bottom line, these guys have no idea what they're talking about. You think they know the nuance of abortion law on a federal level, never mind when you get involved with the state level and their own abortion laws? They have no idea what the Roe v. Wade ruling was about. See, this is the problem. In the United States of America right now, we pretty much have a perfectly moderate abortion policy, okay? So we don't have abortion until, is your baby 3 minutes away from being born? Shove scissors in its head and have an abortion. That's not legal. You're not allowed to do that. That's not legal. That's not what Roe v. Wade was about. Still illegal, okay? But we also don't have the insane idea of ban all abortion. The second that the sperm hits the egg and the ha-ha and the hee-hee, what we have is a third person in the room. There's an old Bill Maher joke. Before the man can light a cigarette and the woman says, "What are you thinking?" There's a third person in the room with all the rights you can imagine. Freedom of speech. They have the right to bear arms. I mean, it's a joke, man. It's a pile of goo. That's what it is. Okay? Not a person yet. Simply not a person yet. So we don't have either extreme in the U.S. You don't have abortion anytime, anywhere, any place, like Pat Robertson is saying. But you also don't have insane outlaw from the beginning. No, this was the decision in Roe versus Wade. Before 23 weeks, it's all the woman's decision, period. She can make the decision because it's a privacy issue, okay? It's all on you. It's your body. It's your choice. And before that point, there's no viability. There's no fetal viability. So it's your choice as the mother to make the decision, okay? And that makes perfect sense. After that is when the states are allowed to get involved and say, well, we're going to regulate it in this way and that way and that way. And by the way, like I always say, I'm a moderate on the issue of abortion. I agree with Roe versus Wade in the sense that 20 weeks or 23 weeks and before, sure, all the woman's choice because there's no nervous system yet at that point. So there's literally no pain. It's impossible for the fetus to feel pain, right? And then after that, I get it. After that, I get it. The only time it should be allowed after that is in cases of rape, incest, life of the mother, and fatal fetal defect. Those are the only exceptions after that. And guess what? That's the law in the United States of America. Perfectly moderate. Okay? And then when I give you the abortion statistics, you're going to go, these right-wingers are insane. Okay? So 98% of all abortions in the United States of America happen before 23 weeks. 98%. And the 2% that happen after that, again, it's rape, incest, life of the mother, fatal fetal defect, rare circumstances afterwards. And 90% of all abortions happen before 13 weeks. So what we're dealing with there, those aren't controversial. What we have is you're dealing with gametes or zygotes or embryos or pre-gestation fetuses, man. You need to, again, if you learn the science of it, then you can take out the emotion and go, I see, the moderate policy is the best policy. But what they're doing there is flat-out fear-mongering. Pat Robertson, pure lie. Well, what they do is they take these women, they put them in dirty rooms with dirty sheets, and they just do it on-call abortion at the last minute. And why can't we have some sort of system where you got to get a permit to do it? We do have that, you idiot! What do you think happens A 17-year-old dude leaves school one day and says, I'm going to open up an abortion clinic tomorrow. Let me rent a basement on Main Street and grab some scissors and invite people in. No, ironically, you know how and when that would happen? If we get the policy that Pat Robertson wants. If we outlawed abortion, you would have more abortion and those kinds of abortion. Okay, of abortions, where it's underground, it's dirty, and you use coat hangers and scissors, and then women end up dying from getting infections and having botched abortions. Did you know that the places in the world where they've outlawed abortions, they actually have more abortion in those places? A lot of South American countries outlawed, but there's more abortions. Do you want to do that here? Or would you rather have it safe, legal, and rare like we have? Okay, and then also, these are the same idiots that are against birth control anyway. It's like, okay, if you want to lower the number of unwanted pregnancies and abortions, well, you know how you do it? It's called condoms. It's called the pill. Okay? It's called sex education and Planned Parenthood. But you're against that too, so you're a massive contradiction. And then you have O'Reilly. Are these guys executioners? Executioners? He should fucking apologize for such a ridiculous statement. You're saying that these people might be in favor of murder because they want to stop Republican legislatures from lying to women and from totally outlawing abortion. Okay, it's such a silly thing to say. There's no easy way to respond to it because it's so out there and it's so crazy. You're basically saying that any kind of abortion at any stage, even taking the Plan B pill, that's murder. It's equal to murder. It's equal to murder. You're an executioner. Really? Well, how about this? Hey, Bill, maybe you're an executioner because I know you want to crack down on abortion. And guess what? When you do that, then there's going to be more black market abortions. And then women will die. Women, not embryos and zygotes and fetuses. Women will die from botched underground abortions. So are you an executioner? Are you? I'm just asking questions, man. I'm asking questions just like you do on your show all the time. Are you an executioner? I guess you're in favor of murder. I'm just asking questions. And then with Megyn Kelly, man. It's going to open the door to late-term abortions. No, it's not. Did you read the bill? Did you read any articles that talk about the bill? You had to not have done that because I read the articles and I see what the bill's about and you're lying about it. Period. The end. Or you just didn't read the articles because you're lazy and you're going to go out there and talk about it anyway. And bring up a doctor who was murdered in the service of a point to say, oh, what he was doing was so wrong and bad. Right. Don't focus on the murderer and saying, well, maybe people should not do that. Focus on what the doctor was doing and say one of the few guys actually providing late-term abortions in the cases of rape, incest, life of the mother, fatal fetal defect. And in those cases, but still, he was the one we should focus on, not the murderer. Right-wing media 101, man. Misinformation all day long.